Tunnel. And I think we're right at it right now. But there was a tunnel from here to the barn. And I don't know where the tunnel is. I don't know what part of this basement it's in, but I heard from lots of old timers, because they used to supposedly make their moonshine back in the tunnel. And I don't know where it is. I think this is it, covered up. I might be wrong.
So, well, I wrote tunnel now because you asked about it, but bricks, I put something's changed here, something's been covered up. So,
was that before I asked you about the tunnel?
Yes. Yeah, I wrote tunnel.
I was just curious because nobody, this is back, I guess, before even the old timers that are old now.
Mm-hmm.
Something feels really significant about this space. At first I was a little apprehensive to get close to it because it feels very guarded. But now I don't want to move anywhere else. So...
What does that mean?
I don't know. We will see. It just, well, the energy is really concentrated right here, which usually means that there's a lot of activity that occurred in this specific area. It feels like something was removed from this area. Let's see. Well, and I know you said your wife doesn't like to come down here. When I first came down here, I got I had a breathing thing going on. Like I felt like I couldn't take a deep breath. Almost like there was a choking, a suffocating, I couldn't breathe. It took me a good 5 minutes to be able to control my breathing to realize that it wasn't me, it was the energy of the place. So, if your wife is that something that your wife feels, or just, that overall anxiousness that occurs when you have the breathing issues and stuff like that, that might be the case, but it's not any more so negative down here in any way. It's just there's a lot of activity that went on down here that feels well, I wrote illegal. So yeah, illegal, secretive, secrets, lots of secrets. Lots of exchanges in terms of money occurred down here.
Maybe find some old jugs.
Maybe in there, yeah. There's not much left in this basement. That's over the years before I got my hands on all this pretty much good stuff was kind of gone.
Maybe something to find. A good find.
You think there is a hole there?
There's something under here.
Not a body, right?
I don't think a body, but there's the energy is really concentrated into this specific area.
Maybe something to dig up.
That's
I was gonna say, do you have any plans to do anything over in this
actually, if
specific
I ever
area?
have any spare time in life, I sure would like to come in here.
We're digging up some bricks.
I would like to dig this area up because I kind of think this is where the tunnel used to be, but it's kind of far because the barn's in that direction. I figured they would have the tunnel closer to the exterior of the building.
Hmm.
But I don't know. You guys came in the fence right to the right of you there. That's the barn.
Is there anything in there that shows something that's
No, because now the
dug up?
floors are concrete, and I'm sure back in the day they weren't concrete,
Right.
just like this basement wasn't
Right.
concrete back in the day. Now back here, I don't know if you want to, in fact, I'd rather not have you go in there, but there is a door back there that goes to
I see that.
I don't think you want to go back in there though.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Okay.
Now I was told there, well, I'm not saying that, there's a couple things that I was told used to go on back in that bad area. Both leaking. Shut these off.
The entire basement feels very kind of like gang related, as in I wrote a lot of different men down here, specifically down here for a purpose, making something, created something, lots of exchange in terms of money, but it feels really like gang related.
Mafia?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say mafia, but that's really what it feels like. Like, that's the stuff that's kind of coming into my mind. Especially when we were over near the bricks, there was a man that came to me over there, and he kind of was showing me like an imprint of the bricks. Okay, so he was tall, thin, over 6 feet, very thin, potentially an S name, because I asked for a name and I got S. Black hair, parted, slicked to the sides, brown eyes, vest, brown shoes. He was wearing like slacks, but he was kneeling and he was digging, and he was over where the bricks are, specifically covering something up. Then I wrote secrets, and that he was paid money to cover something up. And then as we walked further in here, especially the basement, the small room with the window, I really wanted to stand near the window. The energy was very concentrated over near the window. Same thing, there was another exchange there. I wrote illegal. Whatever man specifically was responsible for that area also carried a gun. I got lots of guns as well. And then as we came back over here, it was just, it turned into making something being made, something being created. Lots of men down here to do this exchange. An exchange of things, some sort of place where they would hide things, like lots of secrets, secret activity. And then the further I got into here, I felt, actually I almost felt like I was being hit over the head, like some sort of punishment, or I don't know, I felt like I was being hit over the head with something, and I got a lot of feeling like in this specific area, like around my neck, my little back of my head. And then essentially what I saw was a man who had his hands like tied behind his back, and some sort of like punishment. I feel like the men that were down here kind of took the law into their own hands. They had their own set of rules, and it feels like secret society, like club. That's what I kind of went with gang. But yeah, the energy is really heavy, not so much in terms of spirit activity, in terms of actual spirits being here, but the energy and like the things that were done here was so heavy that essentially it imprinted itself into the foundation and into the structure. And it's very heavy, it's very powerful. Boom, 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 boom. Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually turning this one.
Something about this wall being put here is important too. Like there's a specific purpose for enclosing this room.
not a bearing wall.
Yeah, because this is definitely, this wall and this door are definitely something that were added. Like this room needed specifically to be closed off for some reason. It keeps coming back to the secrets. Something, meetings, secrets. Okay.
Okay. You have any years, and a rough year period for the activity back in that area?
Well, the activity throughout the basement feels a little different throughout. Like when we first came down, I wrote 1940s, and then the closer we got into here, it started to feel older, and maybe 20s even. Yeah, 20s. Yep.
You pick up stuff back there. You said like it's in the foundation. Do you actually the spirits actually down here, or are you just picking up on what happened back then?
No, it doesn't feel like any spirit energy is down here. I mean, because even the man that I had start to communicate with me over by the bricks, he wasn't communicating in terms of, like, if I asked him questions, he would respond. He was communicating in terms of kind of showing me scenes and imprints, and that's how it feels almost throughout the entire thing. So it doesn't feel like there's any spirit activity down here in terms of, like, you know, what you may define as like ghostly or haunting or anything like that. It literally is just like an imprint of energy. Like the energy, it was so powerful, and there's so much activity through this entire place that it's imprinted in the actual space. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that door there, I don't know anything about that. I that's part of the other room. I know that's an old door.
Well, actually, that's what I was going to ask you. Does that door and that door go to the same place?
You know, just let me look. I don't really know.
I don't go back in this area too much just because it's really tough.
Yeah, you don't have to go back. It's okay.
Yeah, actually it is. Yeah, actually it is.
Okay.
But I mean, these doors, why would these doors even be here? Because it leads to really nothing except a pile of dirt. I mean, was this a way of getting in and out of the building many years ago?
Mm-mm.
So then they had to use that space for something many years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, there's no. The doors aren't used as like an entrance or exit to exit the building. It's just specifically to get in and out of that room.
Because that room, basically, there's only a couple feet to walk, and there's nothing but a big pile of dirt in that whole cavity of the
Yeah.
building.
So once stuff was put in through this way, someone else could come out here and take whatever was put in out this way.
So this door is blocking, they might have had something going. So is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
That this would be closed,
Mm-hmm.
and then somebody was back here doing whatever.
Right.
Well, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And what is this over here then? Is this just shelving, or was a window, or?
I don't know. I mean, I know I'm a construction worker, but I mean, it could have been a window, or it could be. It just seems like a lot of work to do something like that on that wall for Well, you know what? They are windows. There you go. They were. And that's really odd. Why would they put windows in something like that for?
Yeah, because it doesn't feel like an entrance or an exit to go out, to leave the building, to go outside of the building. It just feels like it was to keep things hidden.
What about these steps? Do these?
Everything in this room was essentially. It almost feels like it was kind of built as like a farce. Like it's supposed to look like it's something that it's not. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Everything in there feels so fake for some reason.
That would make sense though, wouldn't it? If it was back in the 20s and he's talking about moonshine and they have a tunnel, that they would build something to make it look fake because of prohibition and
Yeah, that's
making alcohol and
My
illegal.
original thought was the tunnel, I was thinking was back in this part of the building, you know? But then, somebody said, oh, there's a brick thing on your floor, that's supposedly where the tunnel is, which is that. But to me, it would make sense for it to be here, to go back.
Well, regardless, everything that's there feels like completely fake. Like it was built just to look a certain way.
Okay. Yeah, watch your head. Right, there's these steam pipes going across right over here, and I cut those out. I knocked my head on those lots of times. Have I seen there?
Actually, of everything down here in the basement, this kind of feels like newer.
Newer?
Yeah, like in terms of changes being made and things like that. It just feels like there was work done. Something was changed. Do you know if this specific area and room was kind of always here, or if there was something that they added here? Because
Well, they had to have, when we go to the other building, my other building actually sits on top of this space.
Okay.
So, and obviously when they did have to do this, they did have to break through here, take all that ground out. You know what, maybe all that ground over there is from here.
It could be.
See what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
that's filled with dirt, and then this was done. Obviously, I don't know, 40s, 50s, 60s, maybe something like that. They put this in. I'm guessing. Maybe that's where that dirt came from here. Because it's. I think it's all concrete. I think it has a concrete ceiling. I think it has an I-beam going across the center of it there. I'm thinking.
Because it feels like besides the room being needed for a sense of purpose, it also feels like it covered something else up.
about this down here? You get anything off of this?
This general area from here.
More exchanges, something hiding. Secrets. So many secrets. I just keep writing the word secrets, like over and over and over again.
Actually, what you're standing in front of is it's a hand dug well inside of my building. It's a spring water.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what time period they did hand dug wells or hand, you know what I mean? Those.
Yeah, I have no
I don't
idea.
know either when they did that stuff. That's actually filled with clear water.
That's still there. You close it up.
Yeah, that's
It
like
lifts
a lid.
up?
It's on hinges.
Okay.
You know, you could lift it up and you could look in. It's a hand dug well, fresh water in it. You know.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we can go in the back. Work your way up if you want.
I did get a feminine energy as we walked into here. Older woman, I'd say probably 60s, age-wise. She has shorter hair, she's gray, heavier set, she's wearing an apron, and I'm getting chest stuff. I feel like she may have had some heart issues, a past heart attack or something like that. But I felt her energy as soon as we walked into the place. And this actually doesn't feel, let's see, maybe 1950s. This room, the energy is a little bit heavier. And it definitely has a masculine feel to it in terms of maybe male energy. I keep looking to the ceiling. And I don't want to walk in here. Here. But there is a lot of activity in this room. Specifically, now initially I felt that it was very masculine and I'm very drawn to the ceiling. Yeah. Yeah, I wrote fire earlier too, and then the burn thing. Oh. Okay, we're good. Did this originally like end here? And then I feel like I should be outside now almost. Was this always here, this room?
As far as I know, when they built this by looking at the construction, this was one big square
Okay,
added to that building.
okay,
From this wall over was added, this whole thing.
okay.
I
Alright,
think-
that makes more
think-
sense. Was this some sort of store or something?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I knew there was a bakery back here,
Yeah,
but did they, you mean this part of the store?
I don't know. It feels like a lot of people coming, a lot of people going. I see different things set up and
The building at different points was some type of a store. We may have had
okay.
a lot of people through this, because this was the baking area.
Okay.
So it would make sense that they would have some type of.
Like
something-
storefront?
Yeah.
Okay, because that's what it feels like. And it definitely feels like it should be more open. Like I feel like I should just kind of walk right out the door. Like that's general path, it's just walking out the door. 'Cause there's a lot of energy of foot traffic that goes in between these areas here. Okay, cool. There you go. Yep.
Let's see. Where should I go next? Should we go to this side or just finish up our house?
Yeah, whatever they want to do, whatever they.
That sounds good.
Finish
Yeah.
up the house part?
Sure,
Is it-
whatever, that's fine.
Can I have you look at this one little room over here?
Sure.
It's really small. I wouldn't have you go in there, but it's cluttered. They're both cluttered, but this general back area, is there?
Do you hear footsteps in there?
What's that?
Do you hear footsteps?
No.
Not so much. Because the energy that's kind of all throughout this first floor is masculine. He's kind of like this guy that's overseeing everything. And I felt the need to like pace, to kind of walk back and forth and back and forth. He feels important, like he has some sort of authority, like he's, you know, kind of taking responsibility for all the events that are going on this first floor. Because there were a lot of things that I got specifically over in that area in terms of like functions, like celebratory functions. You know, people kind of celebrating things. It felt like banquety.
Is that the same guy from up front, from our first year?
No. No, because this dates back to like early 40s. But there, you know, he kind of just keeps walking around. It's like he's overseeing things. Very quiet. I mean, I could describe him, but he definitely has like some sort of pocket watch, because I keep wanting to like reach in my pocket and like look for the time, things like that.
She just said her friend saw a guy right around the corner here.
Okay.
And she came running back to her room and she
Okay.
said that.
Tall, thin, dark
She
hair.
said he was tall,
Yeah.
now she's almost like a black figure.
Okay. He is very dark, and I don't mean dark in terms of his energy. I mean like everything about him is dark. Let me see where I wrote what he looks like. Oh, okay. Tall. I wrote tall and dark. That's funny. Oversees things. Suit, dark suit, pinstripe suit, but it's dark. Pocket watch, mustache, small eyes, distinguished nose, shiny shoes, which I mean, I'm wearing shiny shoes today, so I'm hoping that's not like just, you know, whatever. Something about overseeing the property, overseeing people, events. I called him a timekeeper, and it's because I kept wanting to look at my watch. Made sure everything kind of ran smoothly up here. Or late 30s, early 40s, in terms of the time frame, but he was probably also in his 30s. Yeah. He's all over this floor. So if you're ever sitting on the couch and you feel like someone's behind you, it's because he's standing back there. Not in terms of like he's like watching you or anything like that. He literally is, it's kind of like he's standing post, overseeing everything that's going on throughout this first floor. He's very quiet, very reserved, type of guy where like you look at him and he nods his head and you know exactly what he's asking you to do or what he wants you to do, things like that. Holds a really distinguished post. He's very quiet. But whatever his job is extremely important. He takes it very seriously. Okay. Yeah, nothing to be afraid of, but he is walking back and forth throughout this entire area because I felt him when I went into the baby room too, and it's just because it feels like this area was all open at one point, and he could literally stand in one corner and just watch everything happening. Like his eyes are everywhere.
That's exactly the way it was.
This was
Okay.
all open.
Okay.
Even over the arches that you see,
Yes.
they were open through,
Okay.
so you could see
Yeah.
all the way across to the other side of the building.
Yes. Well, and that's how I feel like when I was standing over here. I literally felt like if I looked out, I could see everything.
Did you feel anything else in the baby room?
No.
Is it typical for any type of spirit to know that you're coming, like the night before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no sense of time. There's no sense of planning. It's just it's all knowing and it's all feeling. So if there is ever something that you experience where you can relate it to a direct event that's going to happen, it's because that they're already completely aware of that happening. So your thoughts have more vibrational power than actually speaking. So anytime that you're specifically thinking about something, if you're thinking about it last night, their reaction to it is a direct reflection of your thoughts.
And then just I have a Shih Tzu that's very old and she doesn't move when she's sleeping.
Yeah,
I don't care what happens, she's not moving.
Right.
And when she is tired, and in the middle of the night last night, she got up, jumped up,
yeah,
doesn't do it often anymore, and started barking like crazy in bed.
yeah,
And that's just, I mean, yes, if she sees something, she'll do that, but the other dogs are first, not her.
right.
She did.
Yeah, and it seems like at that point, someone was essentially trying to get, and this feels masculine as well. Not the same guy that I'm talking about now, specifically another energy. It, just a way to get your attention, to bring your attention to them. A lot of times, I'd say like 90% of the time, it's generally just, hi, I'm here, that's it. And all they want is, for you to give them the awareness that I'm acknowledging you, and that's it. If you don't have a direct connection with them, there generally isn't a message to be relayed, and it feels like this is more along the lines of just having that awareness created that you are acknowledging their presence. Like, don't forget about us, type thing. And that's what I mean. It feels like an acknowledgement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay.
Honey, you wanna take my property here?
Yeah, sorry, I was setting what's that, but when you just said acknowledging, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
Well,
that
and
is so
generally,
weird.
I mean, generally, if that's the first thing that you think of, that's probably what it is.
Yeah.
Standing, that would be that cooler.
Alright. Of course it is. Alright.
What are we missing?
Well, I'm trying to figure out why I'm specifically drawn to this place right here, because as much activity as there is up here, it's all really about what's going on underground, and I wrote underground, and then that's when I asked what's underneath me, and then you said that cooler that I had asked about last when we left the basement. It just, I don't know, a couple things just kind of clicked into place for a second. Because a lot of the energy that I'm continuing to feel is actually from what I'm standing on, not what is surrounding us here. Because I started getting a lot of repeat stuff that I got when we were in the basement, and I'm like, but it doesn't feel like that's what's surrounding me. So when you said that about the cooler, it was like, okay, that makes sense.
You wanna go upstairs or no?
Nope, I don't think I need to.
Okay.
I think I'm good. Yeah, I'm good in here. Attachment to the place that you're making changes to. Nothing is negative though, not at all. And if you don't ever want to be bothered by it, just ask it to stop. It really is that simple.
I'm not, I mean, I feel pretty good.
Good, yeah. There's nothing negative. There's nothing to be afraid of or feel any sort of apprehension to or anything like that. It's existing there the same way any other person would exist in your home. It's just being respectful, having the acknowledgement, or just asking them to stop. Mm-hmm. That's it.
The basement was pretty interesting.
Where's that tunnel you said? Where is that now? We're outside.
Oh,
from
that tunnel.
on the other side.
Oh, no, actually the problem is that tunnel would be underneath all of this.
Okay.
And this wasn't here though. See, the original kitchen was back here. Back in our living room, that's where the original kitchen was for the Charleston Hotel. And then as years went on, this got built. And then they built another section onto it somewhere. So that tunnel would be underneath all of this.
Going back to the barn.
Back to the barn. Supposedly.
I'm sure it's there.
I
I'm
would,
willing to bet it's there.
I would love to find it. I mean, I would love to